And I just want to show you the connection. You know, you talk about the similarities with Russiagate, Aaron. So here is Axios. I don't know if you, I sent this to you. I don't know if you got a chance to see it. So they tweeted this out. Just in, an advisor to Ukraine's president tells ABC News that Trump's insistence for the two leaders to discuss a possible investigation into Joe Biden was a precondition for their now infamous July 20. So Axios is saying ABC News is reporting. I think Axios is owned by ABC News. I'm not sure. They're saying, so now they're all in, again, this is just like CNN is reporting, and now we're going to scream it. So they're saying that, do you catch what they're saying? They're saying that as a precondition for Trump to even call the president of Ukraine, he had to first agree to the fact that they would investigate Joe Biden. So Trump would even call him. That's what they're reporting. And who'd they get that from? They got it from an advisor to the Ukraine president. Well, it turns out he's not an advisor to the president, not an advisor to the president, and he's not, and he did not tell ABC News that it was insistence for the leaders to discuss Biden probe was a precondition for the call. All phony. Everything in this tweet is a fucking fake. The guy's not an advisor to the president, and there was no precondition. The whole thing's made. This is exactly how Russiagate went. We got him. Walls are closing in. We got him. We got the emails. Yeah. Oh, turns out the date was wrong and the thing. Oh, the Deutsche Bank wasn't the thing, and I'm sorry.
Yeah.
This is exactly. They can't wait to run and declare it. We got him. It's exactly that. Setting the record straight. Lyshenko's confirmed to me what those of us in Kiev already knew. He's not currently an advisor to Ukraine Zelensky and wasn't at the time of the July 25th call. He said he did not tell ABC insistence for lead. Un-effing believable. And if you want to know who a real whistleblower is, Joe Wilson passed away. Joe Wilson is the guy who said that the yellow cake, the whole thing that they were using, yellow cake from Niger, going to Iraq, and he blew the roof. I said that's not true. And what did they do? They smeared him, and they outed his wife, who was Valerie Plame, who was a CIA agent. The president's office did that. Well, Scooter Libby, the vice president's office, did that. You remember that, right, Aaron?
Of course. Of course.
And so that's a real whistleblower. Again, right? These are the real people who tell the truth. All right. So let's get to, can you just comment on, you want to comment on Axios doing that?
Well, it's, as you say, it's exactly like Russiagate went for over 2 years. And, this is not the only story that had to be retracted or was discredited just on Ukraine gate. So one of the biggest claims was from the Washington Post when they said that the whistleblower alleged that Trump made a promise to Zelensky, some unspecified promise. Well, you read the whistleblower's complaint and the available transcript, there's no promise at all. So we have no idea what that's about. The Wall Street Journal reported that Trump pressed Zelensky about Biden 8 times during the call. Well, if you read the transcript, and maybe there's some other transcript we haven't gotten, that's possible, but according to the one we got, it's like the Biden part is like 3 sentences of a 5-page transcript. There also was a claim that, I'm forgetting it. There was one more. Oh yeah, well there's like Adam Schiff. Adam Schiff said that the whistleblower told us that Trump pressured Zelensky to manufacture dirt on Joe Biden, and that's confirmed. But the whistleblower never alleged that. The whistleblower alleged that Trump pressured Zelensky to investigate Joe Biden, which is very different than manufacturing dirt on him. So it's like the same behavior that propelled Russiagate for over 2 years, making bombshell claims only to see them discredited, but leading to no humility and no accountability. It's like they're right back at it again.
Bombshell.
There's just been straight up impunity for propaganda, and we're gonna have to deal with another however many more months of it. And I resent it so much because, again, we spent so much time during Russiagate debunking and pouring over all these stupid bullshit details that now no longer matter. They only mattered for the purpose of fueling a bullshit conspiracy theory that Trump had conspired with the Russian government. And we had to spend our time going through all of them. Like you and I did so many segments every week, going through whatever the latest claim was and pointing out why the evidence for it wasn't actually there. Wasting everyone's time instead of talking about actual issues and instead of engaging in what politics should be, which is about, looking at the issues that impact people's lives and talking about what are the best solutions for improving them, But this crowds out the space for that, for the cynical interests that have driven all this stuff from the start. And it's just, I don't know. I'm just mad that we're already getting into it again.
Well, here, before I let you go, I just wanted to show this last piece. You tweeted this out. You said those who got Russiagate wrong have an obvious incentive to make Ukrainegate something bigger than it is, and thus get it wrong again. Here is James Risen of The Intercept falsely telling Democracy Now! That Trump asked Zelensky to make up damaging information about the Bidens. And so here's the transcript, and here's what James Biden says. He said that Trump says, I want to talk to both my attorney, Rudy Giuliani, and the Attorney General Barr about the Bidens and help them get damaging information or make up damaging information about them so that we can then go after the Bidens. That didn't happen. That, in fact, here's the part of the transcript where he talks about Biden. He says there's a lot of talk about Biden's son. That's just as Trump talking to the president of the Ukraine. That Biden stopped the prosecution, and a lot of people want to find out about that. So whatever you can do with the attorney general would be great. Biden went around bragging that he stopped the prosecution. So if you can look into it, it sounds horrible to me. At no point does Trump ask them to make up phony evidence. At no point does he say that. But James Risen, who went to from being one of the best reporters on foreign policy and foreign wars, went to being one of the worst reporters, completely mangling reporting, using words in ways that aren't meant to be used, specifically treason, and now making up shit that didn't actually happen, that we all read the same thing. So he read a different thing, I guess, than I read, or he is making up false information on the fly whenever it suits his arguments, which is actually what's happening. So James Risen is pointing the finger at Trump. He's actually worse than Trump right now because he's the one fucking making it up. And for what reason? I don't know. Because Trump broke his brain. And now he's doing a disservice to anyone who turns to him for information. That is a tragedy. Because that guy, it's like Michael Jordan not being able to do a free throw on purpose. That's like James Risen is playing basketball lefty on purpose. Because he's got the skills to do actual reporting, but Trump broke his brain. I don't know. You tweeted that out. It must have hit you extra hard, huh?
Well, look, James Risen's reporting on Russiagate was a parody of what The Intercept should be about, which is being minimally skeptical of intelligence community claims. Right. And instead, James Risen parroted them and came up with all these dumb theories about Trump and treason. And it was like, it was a farce and it was a joke. And it's sad, given what The Intercept was founded to be, that they've elevated voices like Risen to become forms of self-parody and be so factually incorrect all the time, as he's doing now again with Ukraine, just because they don't like Trump and Trump broke their brain, as you say. I mean, look at the transcript right there. I mean, whatever, putting aside James Risen's total mischaracterization, like, let's think about the fact that Democrats are trying to predicate their impeachment process on this. So, look, the problem is it's not even clear what Trump is asking for here. It could be damning, but it also could be benign. He first asked Zelensky to go talk to he says, whatever you can do with the attorney general. So he wants Zelensky to talk to Attorney General Barr. The problem with that, though, is that Barr says that he never even talked to Trump about investigating Joe Biden and doesn't actually know what Trump is talking about here. So basically, Trump could have just been like running off at the mouth here and not even trying to get Zelensky enrolled in this investigation that, as far as we know, doesn't even exist. And then he says, if you can look into it. Well, again, that could range from, if you could do an investigation, Or if it, it could, I mean, if you could look into it, if you could find out if you heard anything and let me know, And it's like, all right, again, I don't think Trump's to be talking about an investigation of Joe Biden at all with a foreign leader. But again, you're going to try to make a impeachment claim based on something this vague. And especially given that we've also learned, and I think you talked about this, Jimmy, that Zelensky and other Ukrainian officials didn't even know that the U.S. military aid had been frozen until 1 month after that call. So it's going to be difficult to prove an extortion plot if the extortion victim didn't even know that there was a plot and didn't even know that there was a ransom.
So that's the thing people have to remember, is that the whole case is that Trump was pressuring Ukraine, and he was using that $1 billion military aid thing. He was pressuring them. I'm sorry, not $1 billion, but he was using military aid. And that's what they're saying, that he was using the withholding of that military aid as pressure to get them to investigate Joe Biden. Well, it came out that Zelensky, the president of the Ukraine, didn't even know that that military aid was being withheld until a month later. So you're right. How do you pressure a guy if they don't even know they're being pressured? So I retweeted Yasha Levine, I think, who caught that.
And by the way, Jimmy, side note, it actually would be a wonderful thing for everybody if that military aid was frozen.
Right.
Because all it's done is fueled a useless and bloody proxy war in Ukraine. But of course, that doesn't even come up.
No.
It's just presupposed that, oh my God, how could you froze the military aid? This was military aid that Obama explicitly rejected. The reason why Ukraine is receiving this military aid is because Trump came into office, like Obama. He did not want to give that military aid to Ukraine because he didn't want to further inflame a proxy war in Donbass in eastern Ukraine that the U.S. basically helped start. But then Trump came into office, and he came under heavy pressure from all the hawks in Washington, just as Obama was. But Obama rejected them. But the difference between Obama and Trump is that Trump, by this point, was facing all these allegations of being a Russian agent. Right. So a great way to show that he's not a Russian agent to everybody and get them off his back was to say, fine, let's send them Javelin missiles. And the result is fueling more and more of these of a useless proxy war. And by the way, do you want to know who benefited a lot from that? Weapons manufacturers who also happen to give a lot of money to Adam Schiff, and who even host fundraisers for Adam Schiff, and who, of course, has been one of the biggest cheerleaders for the proxy war in Ukraine, and who, of course, is now leading the charge to impeach Trump for briefly freezing this military aid, is Adam Schiff. So this whole thing rewards and reinforces a reactionary, dangerous Cold War mindset. And the fact that it's being done under the guise of challenging Trump when there's so many things that Trump could actually be challenged for is just tragic.
Aaron Matei, everybody check out his work at the Gray Zone Project on YouTube. Where else should they go look for your stuff?
Look within themselves, really. Because I'm within all of it. Look within it.
All right, Aaron, enjoy your time up in Canada there, eh?
Thank you, man. Thank you.
And
people want to know, is there a story about the dog behind his head?
So now there's a dog over your right shoulder. People want to know about that.
I'll ask my mom.
Oh, okay.
And I'll get back to you.
Okay.
I'll get back to you.
Thank you.
All right, enjoy your weekend. Thanks for talking with us.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, everybody.
Bye-bye. Hey everybody, we're doing a live show every Sunday in October in Hollywood, California at the Sycamore Tavern. Go to jimmydorecomedy.com for a link for tickets and become a patron. We give you hours of bonus material every month. Become a premium member. Go to jimmydorecomedy.com and sign up. Thanks for your support.